Good morning and welcome in on this Friday morning. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and we do try and come in on a Monday and Friday morning and do a bit of crafting. I'm a bit late this morning. I was running a little bit slow and my laptop was running even slower, but we're here now, so let's hope that we can continue without any further technical hitches. So lovely to be here with you, and let's first of all, as I say, let's move the camera down. I do apologise, we've had a real sort of little mini heat wave going on here in the UK, and now I think I'm on about day 4, morning Jane, of complete sleep deprivation. I've just said to my son's fiance, I'm not sure that I actually have a functioning brain cell in my body, so it's going to be an interesting morning. But okay, so here's me, Love-a-Duckie. So www.loveaduckie.co.uk, that's where you can find me. That's my website and my blog, where you can go and find lots of inspiration, sign up for newsletters, all of those sorts of things. Morning blender, and you'll find me under Love-a-Duckie in all things, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. That's where you will find me under that name. Let me move my mouse mat out of the way. Now this morning I'm very aware that the month is speeding along. Excellent. Hi Lee, hi Jackie. The month is speeding along. It's not going to be very long till we're into August, which has some exciting things happening. We've got the launch of the August to December mini catalogue. We've got a second celebration happening. Lots of lovely things going on in August, but we need to celebrate July while we've got July. And one of the things that's going on in July, of course, is the Designer Series paper sale, where you're able to stock up on lots of your Designer Series papers. Now, it's all the Designer Series papers in the catalogue that aren't speciality ones. So like Expression Ink is a speciality, and it does say speciality Designer Series paper. So if it doesn't say the word speciality, if it's just a Designer Series paper, then they are included in this sale. So the ones out of the annual catalogue. So I have a little pile here because was a few of the papers missing. I hadn't ordered them yet, so I have made sure I've done that during the sale. So the Europe Peach papers, we've paid with those quite a bit. Absolutely stunning. You can get those in the sale. The hand penned, these are just beautiful, beautiful papers. Those are in the sale. The pansy petals, what can I say? Stunning, in the sale. The Beauty of the Earth pack, which is the one with all these sort of earthy tones and leaves and wood grains and all of those sorts of things. Fabulous for your cards for your men. Stunning. And in the sale, the Bloom Where You're Planted, so all these lovely house plants and brick walls and all of those sorts of things, just so useful to use with that suite, but also as backgrounds and to use on their own. The Good Taste pack, this carried over from the last catalogue. This is, I haven't got very many left here. I ought to add that to an order before the end of the month. A really big bumper double pack that was, but it's still in the sale. I think the other ones that I've got here are the ones that I didn't have before, so the ones I've just added to my collection. So this is the Tidings of Christmas. This is a 6x6 pack, obviously designed for your Christmas cards, but you know, there's no reason why I can't be using some of these things. Look at that stripe, fabulous, in cards throughout the year. So that's the Tidings. I do love this one. It's a beautiful paper in that sort of evening evergreen with that sort of chevron-y design. Don't those two go together fabulously? So that's the Tidings of Christmas. You could be stocking up, getting ready for those during this month of July. And the other two packs that I've got here are the In the Wild pack. So this is the one with the tigers and the leopards I haven't yet got stamps and dies to go with this, but we are going to be having a play with this morning, because we can fussy cut these tigers and leopards and things out, and we could be able to make fab cards even without those things. So you can use your papers as a standalone. The other one I've got here is the Sweet Symmetry Designer Series paper. Again, I haven't yet got the stamps and dies that go with this, but the papers are just fabulous. And I will be adding, isn't that gorgeous? I love that blue and white one. I'm going to be adding these to my the rest of the suite to my stash at some point in the future, because I have got it earmarked to work with at some point in the future. So those are all of the papers, and I did stock up on peach paper, look, because that's coming up as a Lily Pad Stamp Club very soon, so I stocked up with it while I could. Now those are the papers that are on the sale, so do get your hands on those before the end of July. You don't want to be missing out on stocking up, and they are going to be around until the end of the life of this catalogue, so we're going to be using them for a good few months yet. Pop those to one side. The other pack of paper that I got this time was, this is the Pattern Party Designer Series paper. Now this is actually a host item. So if you hold an event and generate a party, a total party of £150 or more, you start to get stamping rewards. Or indeed, if you put in a big order yourself and you earn that much, you earn these stamping rewards. Now you can use stamping rewards on anything you like. So let's imagine we're going to say £170 that you and a few friends have got together. You've ordered some bits. You've perhaps had some kits and perhaps some bits to go with it, and perhaps you've stocked up a bit on your paper, and your order has come to £170. I've picked that figure for a reason. You then will have at least £17 to spend. That's in UK terms, of course, and the equivalents work wherever you are in the world. You will then have £17 to spend on anything you like. But if you go to the back of the catalogue, you've got these host items. Now, for the first time ever, they have added a pack of paper to the host items. Now, the host items are always really good value. I mean, there's this really cute stamp set down here. Let's move my water out of the way so I don't knock it over, with the little frog and the swan. So you could make some really nice sort of fairy tale type cards with that. Hey Handsome, Little Prince, really beautiful. If you spend your stamping rewards on that, it's going to cost you £12. It actually has a value of £15, but I do beg your pardon, it's going to be £9. That stamp set will cost you £9 in stamping rewards, a value of £15. There's some other gorgeous stamps here. That's a beautiful one. You've got some backgrounds here, but then they've added in this Pattern Party 12 by 12 paper pack, and you actually get 48 12 by 12 sheets of paper in that, and it's going to cost you £17. So for your £170 order or party that's generated £170 worth of sales, you're going to be able to get this paper. Look, 48 12 by 12 sheets, and one side is patterned and colourful, so you've got like florals there, and you get 4 of each pattern. Really stripes, different stripes, hearts, just really lovely. Look at that gorgeous green background, sort of pink. That's going to work quite nicely with that in the wild. You'll be able to do pink tigers and things. Got a stripe there, this lovely blue misty moonlight background, floral prints. So really fabulous papers. There's a dotty one. And then on the other side, if I flick it over, you'll see that the other side is in black and white. So you've got checks there and spots and leaves and sort of almost tire marks on that one. Stripes, different dot patterns, flowers that you could colour in. Just really, really useful and fabulous papers. So if you are a demonstrator somewhere and you haven't yet got your hands on those, do think about spending your stamping rewards on them, because if you're putting in orders, but if you're equally, if you're a customer and you've got a few friends together and you can generate sales of £170 between you, you could add this as your freebie, and it's the sort of thing that you could split between you very easily. So if you had 4 friends, you could have a sheet each, couldn't you, of those 12 by 12 papers. So they are fabulous. So I just wanted to highlight those. So it's going to be all things paper today, but we're going to add in a couple of fancy folds. And seeing as my brain isn't functioning, this is going to be fun. Let's see where we go with it. Right. I think we'll start off. Let's start off with our In the Wild. Let's go wild. So really nice papers. You've got these sort of tigers on here, 2 different colourways of tigers. You've got your tropical plants on the back, the flowers, a stripe, some bigger tigers there. This print, and there is an embossing folder that gives you this sort of that is this sweet. These are cheetahs. There's another bigger print on the back here, some nice leaves, and there's some smaller cheetahs, some sort of almost Aztec type print on there, isn't it? So some really nice patterned papers, as well as featuring the little furry creatures. So I think I can come in this flower. I think I'm going to have that. That and that is rather lovely together, I think. So we'll have those. And we'll also, I think we've got some tigers, yes, we'll also grab one of those tigers off of there as well. Put the rest of that pack of paper to one side, and I'm going to grab an early evergreen card. The evergreen card has got some funny marks on it. So we've got a piece of early evergreen card. I have picked up a piece of soft succulent, and I've got some whisper white there as well. So we're going to start by creating a standard card base. So let's cut that there, just under 14.9. I'm going to score it in half at 10.5, and then I'm going to score it, this bit, in half again, which needs to be 5.25. So line up your edge of your card between halfway between 5.2 and 5.3. And let's just then fold that back on itself like this. Grab my bone folder. We have a nice piece, fold back piece like that. There's step 1. I'm going to come in now with my soft succulent. And I'm going to cut this so it is 10 centimeters wide and 16 centimeters long. Now 16 centimeters is literally the crack in your trimmer, so where it folds, that is the 16 centimeter mark. And then this one again I'm going to score at 5.25. that was my mouse going on the floor, computer mouse, not a, and at 10.5 I'm going to fold that into a sort of Z fold. It's not a sort of a Z fold, it is a Z fold. And we're going to have a card like this. Oh, I've dropped my mouse on the floor and got strange marks coming, things coming up on the screen. Right, there we are. So we're going to create a Z fold like that. And we're going to decorate it with these beautiful papers. So I think we'll start with, let's come in with this floral piece, and I'm going to cut a piece of this that is 10 by 14.4. So that's a standard first size mat, and we'll have that sitting in the back there. Isn't that pretty? I love that combination. Never mind having things about tigers and things, that just is a really pretty paper. This one I'm going to cut at 4.75. It really wouldn't matter if you went to 4.8 or knocked it back to 4.7. I think in the grand scheme of things, nobody's going to get too twitchy about half a centimetre. We'll have that sitting on the front there. That's pretty. Let's stick those down. I've got my glue yet working yet this morning. Come along, little glue. There we go. It's had a blob now. It'll hopefully keep going. Let's stick that down there. Just going to trim the top one side for a minute, and you'll want it again in a second. And that on there. Oh, got a bit of gumpy glue going on down there. That's where it's blobbed. It's not quite so warm in here this morning, but it is still warm. And we're going to need to that way, so the wider part covers up the bit at the back, I think. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, that's 5.5. That's 5 1/4, and that bit's 5 1/4 at the back there as well. Excellent. Let's get some basic white. And let's cut this so it is 9.5 wide, because this was 10 centimeters wide, and that first one is 5.5, so we'll make that 5. So that's 5 by 9.5 to go on there. And then these other two bits will want to be 4.75 ish. Just lining it up halfway between the 7 and the 8 on the top there. So that will be those two bits just there. Move this out of the way, and we'll concentrate on these bits for a moment. And to bring back in this paper here, and I ideally want, I think, this tiger here who is sitting up. Oops, sorry, just knocking you about there a little bit. So let's just cut him out. Obviously, if you have the set, you have the dies, you can run this through your machine. I don't think I've ever seen a soft, succulent coloured tiger. Seen white ones, but that's creative license for you. Hi, Megan. Let's come round his tail. Actually, can come over here. And we'll finish cutting out his toes, and then we'll go in and do the fiddly bits. So both sides of his legs across there. And you can cut them out with a bit of a border, and then you don't need to quite do the fiddly bits if you've left a bit of a white border anyway. We have also got a white background, so that will disguise a little bit any edge pieces. And round his toes. These sorts of jobs, you do need a nice pair of scissors with a good point on. So thank goodness for my paper snips. I'm a bit worried that I may have snipped his tail a little bit there, and it's going to fall off. No, I think we're okay. There we go. Tiger, tiger, burning bright. I'm thinking actually this centerpiece just here, I'm going to bring in another piece. I'm going to make this 9 by 4.25, bringing it down another 1/2 centimetre. This back bit is going to be for our greeting anyway, so actually that little bit there that I've just trimmed off of there will be perfect. In fact, I will stick that down and trim it off with the scissors rather than trying to cut it to size. And then we just need we'll have a little strip of that paper coming across there for our tiger to sit on. Right, let's layer up some of these. Have a little bit of designer series paper, little strip that I've just had left over as I've been trimming it up. And then we will stick this on here. This will be, as I say, our greeting panel where you will write your happy birthday, have a lovely day, whatever. I'll have this piece coming on here. And this piece we'll have coming across the bottom here. Obviously, as I say, if you have got this set, you could then head over and pick a greeting from the stamp set. I haven't yet, so we will need to find a greeting elsewhere, but I'm sure we'll manage that. Stick our little tiger on the front, putting some little dots of glue on that tail. To have him so he's standing on that stripe. And then also just fussy cut so the paper is definitely doing the work in this card. You just need to find a greeting from somewhere. Yes, might do that. Let's have a little flower in that top corner. in the other top corner. And stick this in place, and then we will hunt for a greeting. So I'm going to start. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive down one side of this front piece. Could have done it as well with dimensionals. Let's put that into place. And then we'll put some adhesive on this back piece. Fold that over, give that a good press down. Give that just a second while I find the sentiment to go on the front there. Just scanning my shelf. Flick, 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 flick. I think I'm going to take the Let's Celebrate You from the peach stamp set. Sweet as a peach. Yeah, I might have that on there actually. Put a little bit of white just there, that would be perfect. Let's take some evening evergreen. I always want to call it early evergreen. I don't know why you get these things in your head, don't you? Well, I do. And it's hard to get them out of your head. It is still hot here, Megan. Sorry, I've just taken my scrolled down on my comments. Yes, it is warm. Not quite as warm as it was, but still warm. So let's celebrate you. And I think we'll just have that coming in there. In colour jewels here. I think I'm going to go for the soft succulent ones. Let's put some in the centre of those flowers, on top there. And we'll have a larger one down here with our greeting. So, tiger, tiger. Burning bright. So that is using those In the Wild papers to create this fancy fold, Z fold card. We could have put another paper down there, possibly. But there we go. That's having a good play. Those papers on there. Let me just find my stamping scrub and we'll clean up that stamp. And then we'll have to play with some different papers. And this time, I think we'll go Sweet Symmetry. And, ooh, what would I like? I'll go with this one actually. Some calypso collie and pretty flowers on the other side. I'm just going to take a piece of basic white for this one. So again, I'm going to just create a basic card front. So let's cut that to about 14.9. We're going to turn that over and score at 10.5. Make our standard card base. And I'm going to take a piece of this paper and I'm going to cut it at 10 by 14.4. I'm going to stick that on the front of that card base. Like that. I'm going to open my card out and I'm going to take a standard post-it note. Now standard post-it notes are, I think it's 7.5 centimetres. I will just double check that in a second. I'm going to stick it in the corner of this card like that. So yeah, they're about 7.5 centimetres, 3 inches. So we've stuck our post-it note in the corner, and that is just literally to give us a guideline. Because I'm now going to bring my trimmer back in. And I'm going to line the edge of that post-it note up in my trimmer. So I'm going to bring my cutting blade. And I'm going to rest my cutting blade. Now I've got my metric arm in here. I'm going to bring it to 1.5 centimeters. Now 1.5 centimeters in inches, it's about 5/8 of an inch. So exactly the same thing. You can use a post-it note, but just come 5/8 of an inch, whereas I've come 1.5 centimeters. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to cut now down to the end of my post-it note so that the groove in my blade just here is in line with the end of my post-it note. Now I'm going to turn that round. Let's come round this way, and again I'm going to line my post-it note up there, and I'm going to want this to come now to 6 centimeters. So no, I'm not. I'm going to want it to come to the edge of the post-it note, and I'm going to cut it up into 1.5 centimeters. So let's line that up with the edge of our post-it note there, with the edge of our post-it note there, and cut up until we're in line with 1.5 centimeters. You can also go from 1.5 centimeters down. Now we'll remove the post-it note, and what I should have now is a flap like that. So it's joined at the top, joined at the bottom, but I've got a flap. What I'm going to do is I need to ease that round, so just sort of run your finger along those bits because you're easing that over. Bring your bone folder and score it, and you've got a nice flip over front. The nice thing is when you open it up, you've also got some paper that's flipped round, but that's okay. You've still got patterned paper on the front there. So I'm going to come in with my other pattern. Do I want that in the background, or is that going to be a bit too busy? No, actually, quite like that. So I'm going to cut that. So this is another part of the strip. So we know it's 10 centimeters. So we'll cut this to 14.4. Now what you could have done, of course, is put paper on the back here, and then you'd have had that flipping round onto the front as well if you wanted to. If you'd have put paper on the reverse when it had flipped over, you'd have had that pattern on there. But I think we'll just take a piece of Blushing Bride. How have I got? A big enough ornament? Oh, I think so. I'm going to cut a piece of Blushing Bride to 7 centimeters square. To sit in there. Quite tempted actually to take a piece of Night of Navy. And I just want it to be, I think about 7.25, 7.3, 7.2, something like that. Not quite 7.5, but slightly bigger than the 7. So I just want it to rain that pink a little bit. So just tiniest of borders. Yeah, it's going to make that pop on there. That sounds like it might be the UPS man, in which case I will dash in a minute. It was indeed. Let me go and grab that. Yeah. Thank you. Still going. Right. And we're back. Catalogues are in the house. All good. Right, okay. So now we need to put something on the front of our pretty card base. I think we're going to go back to our ice creams and lollipops. As I say, I haven't got this stamp set yet either. The other thing that we will do is we'll just take a couple of dimensionals and pop them underneath here. I didn't quite get that right. I'm going to actually put the dimensionals onto this bit. That way we know they're not going to interfere with our flap, but they'll hold that down then. So let's come back into our ice creams. I think it will be an ice cream, and I think probably a Calypso coral ice cream. And have some sprinkles. A bit of, no, we'll go white card. Calypso coral for our ice cream. Let's see how that takes us. So crumb cake for the cone will come in soft suede for the waffly bit. Now I'm going to go in full colour. So I couldn't decide whether I wanted to go in full colour or whether I wanted to go second generation. I'll just take my sprinkles and I'm going to just go over the top with Calypso coral, tone on tone. Not quite. I'm going to snip that in half. Take that top bit off. That's better. And then we have our ice cream section. Take a happy birthday. And got a sprinkle on top. Trim that round. And let's bring in now with sprinkles on top. Should have perhaps done this before we stuck it all together, so fingers crossed. And let's stick those in place. Let's have happy coming in just there. Let's bring in some dimensionals for our ice cream. Happy birthday with sprinkles on top. And bring in, these are the Artistry Blooms sequins. Let's just have a few of those sprinkled about the place. Let's get my ribbon scissors and just snip that bow. That's better. Glue dot. There we go. So I've got sort of about 10 days, I would imagine, just over a week so to go until the end of the designer series paper sale. So you're not going to want to hang out too much longer before you make sure that you are stocked up. You're not ready for ice cream. You're dreaming of days when ice creams are going to be back on your menu. Well, there we go. There's a couple of cards, and they've just mainly used your designer series paper. You could obviously swap out, if you have that stamp set, you could swap that out for flowers and things from the suite. You could use different flowers. There's no reason why you can't go to town on that. I just happen to have the ice creams still out and about, so why not use them? So Tigers in the Wild, Sweet Symmetry, just two of the papers that you can get at the moment in that design series paper. And while you've got your big stock of paper, why not use them to create fun, fancy fold cards? So thank you for joining me, and I hope you have enjoyed those, and I shall be back. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. I hope that it's not too hot or not too cold, that it's like Goldilocks porridge and is just right. So yeah, enjoy your weekend, and I will be back with you on Monday. So I will see you all then.